Hello and welcome back to yet another 6-scale figure review with me, your host, That Mania. And today we've moved on from Hair Caesar, and we're moving to the other monkey that Hellcat Studios has released, Koba. If you don't remember Koba, he was the villain in the second one. He was like the scarred monkey that they released in the first movie, which led into him being the bad monkey in the second movie, who tries to kill Caesar. He like blasts him and then blames the people. And then he takes over and he's like, it's Koba Town now, and then tries to kill all the people. So yeah, here's the box. It is the exact same as every other box. Version A at the bottom. And it is just a straight bite box through and through. But again, just like the other two, I haven't opened it, and I've got my toothbrush ready. So we're going to have a fun time brushing a monkey. So why don't we open this up and see if Koba looks a little better, at least on default, than the Caesar did. These boxes are really hard to open, so I just kind of already lifted the top, but I haven't opened it yet officially, so here we go. I'm scared. I'm scared again. Ooh, we got another backwards head monkey. So here is Koba. You can see there's some good scarring there. Again, it feels a little dark, but for Koba, it feels fine because he is kind of like the eviler guy in this big picture. He does feel very similar to Caesar in hand, but I mean, everybody knows at this point what time it is. It's time to brush a monkey. So here he is with his once over brushing, like I said, not perfect like the other ones, but it's enough where you can kind of get a bit more of that detail, shine, and spit out of him. And he does look nice. It pretty much just looks like Caesar for the most part, but with a different head popped on him, which does have a nice different shape. So there is some very different differentiating features on him other than just the scar. Even just the shape of the face is different. Mouth shape, the length of how far his face comes out. So there is some good stuff there to work with, but it is, at the end of the day, just kind of like Caesar with a different head. But we'll dive a little bit deeper into him, and maybe this guy ends up being a bit better than the default Caesar. But there's only really one way to find out. I guess he's decided it's time to move on. So the making of this guy was probably one of two things. Either, we made a lot of Caesars and nobody seems to be buying them. Let's just make another head sculpt and make the Koba. Or, oh my god, we've already made the Caesar body thing. Let's just redo it again and make Koba, because he comes with almost the exact same stuff, except the gun is different. This is a nice, I'm going to blast Caesar away with a gun. It's got a bit more playability. You can see there's a bit more to it. I like this. That's fun. Ooh, this slides as well. It's a nice sliding rail. So this is a fun gun. I like this better. It's a bit more, it feels a bit more impactful. But other than that, we've got our normal, slightly open monkey hand, regular monkey finger painting. Pretty good overall. You can see, again, hair on the hand. And it is just glued, like a piece glued on the back there, so just don't put it in your hairdryer. We've got this like open, climby hand. We've got our two holding hands, which aren't really for this guy, but for the other version when he comes with a spear. And we've got our gun hand with the trigger finger. So that just fits comfortably in there. So not bad overall, but like I said, the accessories are virtually the same as Caesar. But obviously this is not Caesar, this is Koba. Let's talk about the man with the scar himself. So you can see the face is obviously drastically different than Caesar's here. He's actually showing teeth. His mouth is open, which is a super cool effect. I like that a lot. I need to get this guy on a stand. These guys do not stand very nicely. Where's my toothbrush? My pointing toothbrush. But you can see there's some nice mouth work there. You can see the teeth. It looks really, really good. I'm loving the fact that he does have his mouth kind of like protruding out because he is making an expression. You can see the scarring here. It does look pretty decent. He's got his one bad eye and his one good eye. Again, just like with Caesar, posable eyeballs. They're kind of hard to move, but there are posable eyeballs. But I love the scarring here. It's got a nice like pink to it. And it goes over the eye and then over here. And then, like I said, the teeth look super cool in there. So I'm very happy about that. Because, I mean, we could have a million just neutral-faced monkeys. It works for Caesar. For this guy, I like a bit more aggression. And this looks pretty aggressive. I mean, at least from the front. If you're looking at it from the top, he looks like with his mouth out. So it's a little weird. But from the front, he's got a nice, like, aggressive face. So I'm very happy about that. And his head is slightly different shaped. It's a bit longer, per se. The hair sits nicely on the back, though, so I'm not too worried, other than him falling to his imminent demise, because, like I said, the feet are nice as hand feet, because it's monkey, but they don't support him all that well. And also, I haven't mentioned this yet. Let me get it out here. This is something stupid. So the display base is this big circle piece, and they're physically incapable. They're physically incapable of, why is this not focusing? Of touching the ground while on the crotch grabber. So I have no clue what happened in production, but that's really funny to me. So I just kind of use it as a support base. Grabbing him, every time I grab him, I feel like I have to brush him again. Which is going to be exactly what happens. Let's talk about this on the top real quick. It looks really wet. And like shiny. It's kind of going away, but at the same time, I feel like I'm brushing up glue here. So just be very, very careful with this guy. Be careful with all of them. I know I've said it a lot, but you could brush off all the hair if you're not careful. And obviously, you don't want a hairless monkey because then it just becomes a normal person. Moving on, we do just have this nice primate chimp body that the Caesar uses as well. It's got this nice fur on it that's like this like throw pillow soft feeling. Honestly, I'm so shocked at how soft these guys feel. It makes me kind of jealous. I really, really thought this was going to be like a coarse and rough feeling thing, but it's genuinely like super soft. I love running my hands through it. Does that make me a freak? Maybe, but I'll be a freak for monkey. But it does look really good. They got a nice build to them. On the back here, you can see there's a bit of hunch and arch. And just like with Caesar, we kind of have our iconic monkey thong. It's not as visible on this one, but you still kind of see it if you're really, really looking for it. It's okay, Koba. And then we just have our monkey pants here, which lead down to our monkey shoes, which are just monkey feet. These are straight blackened monkey feet. They do look really good. On the bottom, we've got some good texturing. All in all, fairly well put together monkey with a super nice face sculpt. And overall, just a nice counterpart, or I guess counter to the Caesar figures. So if you needed a villain on your Planet of the Apes shelf, this is a good counter for him. It will probably look fine with the one Caesar, but I'm really excited to see how the war paint version of this guy looks like as well. So why don't we bring out the Caesar, the regular Caesar. We'll just do regular Caesar and see how Caesar and Koba look side by side. So here are the two side by side. They pretty much have the exact same build, except for Caesar here has a bit more of an hourglass figure. I'm not sure why that is. Koba's is a bit more just straight down. but they do have pretty much just the same body proportions overall. You can see here, Koba's got this nice like black on the face as opposed to him, which is more of a brown. Honestly, Koba's looks a bit more natural in how it actually looks in the movie as opposed to, again, Caesar just feeling so out of place in all of this because of that weird coloration he's got going on. But I definitely think this Koba, the base Koba actually looks better than the base Caesar. It's just a matter of, does the Warpaint Koba look better than the Warpaint Caesar? I think it'll be a really hard one for him to beat because that Warpaint Caesar is just really, really good. But, you know, stranger things have happened. But yes, these two guys look super cool side by side, and I'm excited to have them all kind of in a collection area. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I will figure out something eventually. But for now, why don't we switch our time to articulation. And here we are, and here he goes with a life-ending 360 monkey degrees up that far. The magnet come off, so it's not going to hold, but it could go up that far, down that far, so I'm back and forth, but not much. Just like with Caesar, the arm only goes up that far. I don't want to pop it out again. The full 360 because it's not connected. Decent elbow bend, you know, wrist freedom, so that's good. There is some ab crunch, a little bit more than Caesar I feel like, but not too much because it's all just a big suit. Still no spread. Leg goes up about that far. Leg goes back a little bit. You do get a good knee bend, and you do get some solid ankle articulation, so he can do pretty much whatever default poses you need him to do, but he can't be climbing any trees anytime soon. But, you know, let's wrap up this video. So as cool as this guy is, and as nice as the sculpt looks, I don't think many people are going to be clamoring for Koba. You know, everyone will be like, oh, you know, I want Caesar. Everybody's like, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you know, Caesar apes together strong. Caesar is like the king of the monkeys. I don't think many people are going to be like, man, I have got to get a Koba in my collection immediately. But, like, maybe you should consider it, because this guy actually, by just, like, the base appearance, looks super good. He really comes together with that sculpt. The scarring looks super nice. It's really just a, like I said, they just had a lot of Caesars, and they made a Koba. But they put a little bit more effort into the sculpt, I feel like. Again, because, you know, he's showing the mouth, and he's got different kind of shapes to him. It looks really good, and I think it's, this one specifically, maybe the war paint will sell a bit better like the Caesar, but I think this regular one might go a little underappreciated, and it shouldn't, because honestly, this is the better of the default ones, and it's by a long shot, because he just looks exactly like he should. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. I felt it. I was like, man, my turntable's going to shut off on me. I know it. But yes, this guy definitely is the better default of the two. He just pops a bit better. You know, like I said, the face has a bit more work put into it. He actually looks more like how he's supposed to. So all in all, it looks like what it needs to be, and it is pretty good. But I feel like this one's going to go completely under the radar for some people. Just because everyone's like, oh, you know, I want the war paint version to go with my Caesar. Or, oh, I don't need a Koba at all because I'm just going to get the Caesar. But maybe, you know, I'm hoping maybe this video sways your opinion toward getting a Koba, because this guy could be pretty cool. You know, just having him next to a Caesar in the collection could be super sweet if you do it right. Have them all stacked up together. You know, put some effort into really detailing these guys, make them look perfect. You could get a pretty solid Planet of the Apes shelf going, because there's two of each, plus a horse, so you could have one riding the horse, probably the war paint Caesar, unless you got two horses, because, you know, they reissued the horse, so you could have two horses, and the war paint one's on that, and then the regular one's kind of off on it. But there's definitely a lot you could do with this, and I think absolutely maybe you should consider getting the Koba. But, you know, completely up to you at the end of the day. But if you did pick this guy up, or the other version of Koba, or any of these monkeys, feel free to let me know which one because, you know, I picked up all of them, and you know I'm always very interested in talking to you guys because you guys are great. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, because, you know, the channel's been doing nicer recently, and I'm really enjoying doing these videos, and I've got a good one coming up soon here. I'm very excited to see how this new one looks, so stay tuned for that. And with all of that out of the way, I've been me, and you've been you, and thank you for watching me watch a monkey be brushed again, 6-scale figure review. Hopefully you join me next time when we review something maybe new. I'll see you then.